read the course catalog. You do have the slide deck, so you will be able to click on here and also go through the course catalog. And also, I'm hoping that a lot of you, if you are planning on signing up for an AP or honors class, that you did attend the fair. And if not, you can also go and click on this link and you will see the information that is on our website. So what the teachers did is they either created a video presentation discussing what their classes are going to be like, or they have a slide deck describing what their classes are going to be like. So we just really, as always, as counselors, we always want you to have the information so that you can make an educated decision on what you want to do. And then lastly, one of the lastly things is that we would just like for you to look at the calendar to see when your date and time is for when you can go to the virtual counseling office to speak with your counselor. And so what the day is going to look like, it's just going to start off as normal. And of course, you are going to have to know when to come down to our virtual counseling office. And so when it's around that time, just send your teacher and what is it called? Like an individual message in the chat and let them know that you have your counseling appointment. And then you can click here and that will take you straight to the virtual counseling office. And then you're going to be greeted by 2 staff members. We are going to send you a link or put the link in the chat of where you can register to say, hey, I'm here. And then we are either going to ask you to stay, or we are going to say, come back in 15 minutes or come back at 12:30, come back at 12:45, something like that, just so that we don't have you waiting there for like 30 minutes for an hour or something, whatever, because we want to honor your time. And so we're going to ask you to do that. If we do ask you to come back, then you are expected to go back to class and then let your teacher know that you have an appointment at whatever time, and then do the same thing. Just come back. When you do come back, then just say, I'm coming back for my appointment, and we will allow you to stay in the wait room. And so how to read the schedule. You just look for your last name. So let's just say your last name is Fong, for example. So Fong. So you are going to say, oh, I see it right here. I see that Mr. Mar, that I'm going to be meeting with Mr. Mar, sometime between 9 and 1 o'clock. And on February 8th. So I know this because I see the date right here on top. I see my name, and I also see the time over here. And so that's pretty much it. Look for the date, look for where your last name falls, and look for the time. Then you will know what time your drop-in appointment is. And so if let's just say, we can see that that all the counselors are going to be meeting at 9 o'clock. If let's say, 10 people come in at 9 o'clock, you may or may not be the first person to be seen. And so therefore, that is why we may ask you to wait 15 minutes or we may ask you to come back in like 45 minutes, an hour, or something like that.
Can we go back to that?
Yes.
So hi, I'm Ms. Guan. I'm one of the counselors. One thing I wanted to point out is that this is just a sample of one day. As you can see, it's February 8th. We'll be doing this for, I think, 5 to 6 weeks. So the first people we're going to see are all the 11th graders. So notice that this says 11th grade for this whole day. So we'll probably be seeing 11th graders for the next week till we get half. And then it'll be 9th graders and then 10th graders. So just keep track of that because we don't want you to get confused. If you're like a 10th grader with the first name, last name A, it's not Monday. So, and then the other thing to notice is that for the drop-in time from 2 to 3:30, that's only if you missed your schedule. You can't jump ahead because we want to honor each of your grades and that you have a scheduled appointment. So for Monday, only if, at least for my students, if your last name starts with A or B and you missed the appointment from 9 to 1, then you could come back that same day at 2 p.m. But if your name is like last name Contreras and you're 11th grader, you cannot jump in on Monday yet because, you know, your name comes up a little bit later. So please just make sure you check this. And if you have any questions, just email your counselor and we can help you look at it and tell you what time your schedule is. Thanks. And if you don't know who your counselor is, this is the counselor caseloads. There are 4 counselors. I'm Miss Guan, and in this room, I have the other counselors here. My last names are from A through Flores. And of course, if you have any questions and you don't understand how to read the schedule, I have my email right here and my cell phone right here also. And that's for all the counselors. We have our emails and our password and our cell phones. There's also Mr. Mar, whose last names are F-O to L-I-A-O, Ms. Verdine, L-I-B to R, and then Ms. Lee, S to Z. Next slide. And next is Ms. Verdine.
Hi, everyone. I am Ms. Verdine, and I just want to share a little bit about AP classes. So as Dean Walker mentioned, some of you may have attended the AP fair that happened earlier this week. You will be receiving the AP request form. This form is important because this is how your counselors will know what classes you're interested in taking for AP. So what we want you to do once you get the form, just review the AP courses. I believe the course catalog is on the chat in case you need it or have any questions. And what we'll ask for you to do in the form is rank your AP classes. So make sure that, you know, your top choice, you put that as number 1, second as number 2, and after that, what we want you to do, and this is really, really important, is for you to discuss your decision to enroll in AP classes with your parent or your guardian. And the reason why, I'll explain in the next slide, but make sure that you're checking in because you will both need to sign the AP agreement that's listed in the form. And then once that's done, your counselor, me or Ms. Guan, Mr. Mar, Ms. Lee, will get notified that, you know, these are the classes that you're thinking about for AP classes. Next slide. So the next thing is just an AP class disclaimer. Students who register for AP classes must commit to remaining in the AP class or classes for the entire academic year. What this means is that students will not be able to drop any AP course once the semester has begun. If you do find yourself struggling in the class or needing extra support, you can always check in with your teacher, check in with your counselor. We're here to support and provide resources to help you in those AP classes. So again, the AP request form will confirm that you and your parent are in agreement with the commitment to the AP class.
I wanted to add a little bit more to what Ms. Verdine is saying. This is Mrs. Lee. I am one of the counselor. I want you to know that when you have to sign the AP form before we can give you the classes next week. Okay, if the AP form is not signed, we cannot schedule you into an AP class next week. Make sure you sign that and make sure you have some backup AP class. The reason I'm saying that, let's say you want AP, I'm just making an example. You want AP calculus, and then you also want AP physics, and then you also have a pathway class. All those 3 classes might be in the same period. So that means you can only take one of those classes, right? So you need to have a backup plan that if you meant to take 2 or 3 classes, you might want to sign up for 4 or 5 AP classes, just in case you don't get your first, second, or third choices, at least you get the other. You cannot ask us, oh, I don't, you know, since a conflict right now, I cannot take AP calculus, can I take AP statistics? If it's not on your form, I cannot schedule you into AP statistics. All right, so it's really important that it's on your form. That's why we cannot drop your classes after we schedule you. Not when the class begin, because we need to know how many classes to offer. So if we give it to you, you all say, oh man, I'm not gonna get it right now. So what we gonna do with the whole classes? Or we didn't make enough class and more students come in. So whatever you guys seeing us for is the class you're gonna get if we can give it to you. If it's conflict, then then we can substitute you in. Just to let you know that. Thank you.
Oops. Okay, and so now to the nitty gritty. So listed here are all of the steps that that we would like you to take and that you do have to take in order to have this to be a seamless process. And so step one, like step one is to check your email. You either just received an email from an address from no-reply@sfusd.edu, or you will receive one in about 5 to 10 minutes. And so, and it's going to say, welcome to the time that you can choose your classes for next year. And then there's going to be this, this attachment. And so I just want to quickly go over, and of course I will verify that I am me, but I'm glad this happened because I want to underline the fact that you have got to be logged in to your San Francisco Unified email address. And so if you don't know what that is, please, please, please contact myself. I'm Walker T at sfusd.edu, or contact your counselor if you don't know who your counselor is, and we will be able to give you that information. But for this letter and for your email, for so many things, you do need to have that information. And so it's just taking my computer a little bit, but basically there are a lot of links in this document, and also there is a lot of information. It is just one page, however, it's a whopper. And so this is what the page is going to look like. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for you. And so we just want you to very carefully read it from top to bottom. It gives the dates that we are going to be meeting, and it also identifies the dates that the grades are going to, are estimated to get started. Like for, excuse me, for example, we're going to start with the 10th graders on Wednesday, the 17th, 9th graders on, 22nd, it has all that information. And then it also has the information of where to see the calendar schedule that we were discussing before. You just, anything that is underlined and in blue, you are just going to click on it and it'll take you to where that link does lead. And then also, sorry, there is a little lag because my computer does not like being on Zoom and sharing at the same time. However, the thing that I do want to point out specifically is that this AP request form, that is specific to you, as well as the course selection form, that is specific to you. So for those two reasons and more, you do want to either bookmark this letter, and you can do that by just clicking on this star right here if you have Chrome, or you can click on Command or Command if you have a Mac, or Control if you have a PC, then B, and that will save it. So you just want to make sure that you always, always, always have access to this document because it has information specific to you. And so, so where it says course selection, and where it says, or excuse me, course selection form, and where it says your AP request form, those are specific to you. And those are the forms that you are going to use to sign up for your AP class and also sign up for your classes right over here. And so in regards to the course selection form, we do not want you to click on it and submit it before the meeting. This is actually what you're going to be doing during the meeting with your counselor. You are going to go over each course together with your counselor, And then when your counselor says, okay, you can select, English 1 or something like that, or English 2, then select English 2 on the form and then click next. And then you can go on from there. And I'm just gonna go back. All right. So we went over this part a little bit before in the beginning. When you come into the virtual counseling office, so you're going to have a link to click on to register that is going to be listed in the chat box. Do that, and then from there, you'll be told to either wait or to come back later. And then in the meeting with your counselor, or to meet with your counselor, you will go back to the same virtual counseling office and wait, and then your counselor will virtually go out of his or her office, get you and bring you to his or her office to have your one-on-one meeting. And then if you change your mind, back to this letter. And so this is after you have met with your counselor. If you change your mind and you want to change a class, then just click on this link, and then you will be able to make that request, and you will be able to discuss it with your counselor. Okay, and so does anyone have any questions?
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
I mean, Nicole, are you allowed to fill out the AP? Are you allowed to fill out your AP application early, and then you fill out your class choices with your counselor, right? You don't have to fill out your AP application with your counselor? Okay.
Exactly. So fill out your AP request form first, and then when you are with your counselor, fill out the course selection form along with your counselor.
I also have a question. Are the AP courses required?
Oh, that's a good question. So no, the AP classes are not required. They are 100%, for all intents purposes, elective classes to take. And so no, you do not have to take an AP class.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
How do you fill out the AP request form?
Oh, that's
because Nana, I opened it and then it said I don't got access to it.
Yes, that's because it is going to be in the letter that we just went over. So check your email for an email from noreply@sfusd.edu. And then where it says AP request form, that is the form that you use.
All right, thank you.
You also need to sign in to your email as your school email, because a lot of students have been texting me and they're having issues because they're logged in through another Gmail account. So you can't have access to the AP form unless you're signed into your SFUSD account.
All right, thank you.
That happens to everyone. So like Ms. Guan just said, and what Joseph just pointed out, it says my first and my middle name because I never put my last name on anything. And this is actually my personal Zoom account. So that was a mistake on my part and oversight. So just make sure that you are into your account.
Miss Nicole?
Yes. Yes, Dean Walker. Go ahead.
I got a question. How do you fill out for the case manager and the CMA email?
You won't need to do that.
Okay.
So it's going to automatically be populated. If you do not have one, then it won't be populated. It'll just be blank.
A question.
Go ahead.
What's the difference between pre-calculus and compression?
Oh, that's a good one. So
I'll answer that one. Hi. So for the compression class, it's Algebra 2 and pre-calculus in 1 year. So if you haven't already taken Algebra 2 and you want to take those two classes together, you can do that. And then pre-calculus is for students who have already done Algebra 2, completed Algebra 2, and want to take pre-calculus as a separate class. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Elias asked if we could put the counselor emails and numbers back up. He said it needs that. Could we put that slide back up for a second?
Absolutely.
I have a question, student asking if they can take geometry and algebra 2 at the same time. The answer is no. The reason is two reasons. One is math is going in sequence. You have to finish geometry before you go to algebra 2. That's one. And two is we specifically don't have the funding for you to take extra classes. There are no room in your schedule to do 2 math or 2 science or 2 whatever classes. So those are the answers, but you can still get to AP calculus because like Dean Walker was telling us earlier, Mr. Joe was telling us earlier that we have a algebra 2 and pre-calc together in 1 year. So you normally kids do that during the junior year. So senior year, you can still do AP calculus, even though you're not doing algebra 2 and geometry during your sophomore year. Okay, that's a question. I just wanted to answer that to everybody so you can all hear it.
Katina asked about how do you know if you have a case manager? So the thing is, when you fill those forms out and you choose your name, it's a drop-down menu, right? So as soon as you do that, it triggers the form to fill out the information that we know already. So it fills out your counselor, so it has our name already. It fills out it should fill out the counselor emails and the counselor phone numbers. But if you also have a case manager, it will also fill out the case manager. So if you chose your name and that field wasn't filled out, it's because you don't have a case manager.
And also the other way to find out if you have a case manager or not is when you look at your own schedule, you have 6-period class. If your schedule say there's a 10th period, that 10th period has a case manager's name. The 10th period is technically not a physical class. It's just a place to add your case manager's name. So if your schedule has a 10th period, that means you have a case manager. If your schedule have no 10th period, that means you don't have a case manager.
I have a question. Can I? Okay. If you finished all your G electives, like you don't need to take another elective, are you allowed to replace it with an AP class? So that means I could, if I finish my G, does that mean I can take two AP math classes at the same time for senior year?
Yes, it does. If once you fill your requirements, anything extra turns into a G automatically. So if you have your G and you have your math, it'll automatically go to a G elective and count towards that anyway. So it does it for you. So once all your graduation requirements are done, it will automatically count those credits as like extra elective credits. Does that answer your question?
You don't have to fill out you don't have to fill out all the AP choices, right? You can just choose 1 and 2. You don't have to fill out the third one.
You should fill out the third one.
You should fill out the third one?
Yeah, just because imagine if you said you wanted to take AP Calc and AP Stats, but then your schedule couldn't fit it because maybe they're same period or something like that. If you don't fill out a third option, I would just put you in the AP class that you can, so either AP Stats or AP Calc, and then you won't have a second AP. So if you really want to take 2 AP classes, you should put a third option, fourth option, as many options as possible so that we can work around your schedule.
Another question is when it's time for your to choose your classes, and it's on all the people with the same last letter name, they go in, they'll tell you when it's your time to have a meeting with your counselor, right?
Yeah.
Because there's multiple people at the same time.
Yeah, they'll let you know. And then also, even if you by mistake went on the wrong day, they'll kind of remind you, it's like, oh, you'll be, on Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Wait, will they send you an email to like when the meeting is gonna start or something like that?
Yeah, actually, Clark, I was just gonna ask Dean Walker if she could pull up the schedule document so that maybe we could show you guys that document to open, because that's when it's gonna tell you exactly when to come. So if Dean Walker could share her screen and show maybe the full document that I sent with the whole schedule in it, maybe that would be good to look at.
I need to look it up, so give me a second.
Okay, sure, no problem. So in the letter that you got from the no reply, there's a link and it says course scheduling calendar. You're going to click on that link and it's going to open a document that tells you all the like things we just talked about, and then there's a calendar for every day of who gets to come every single day. And it's pretty much like the whole month of February that students are going to be meeting with their counselors.
I
I
got
have a question.
Okay. I got a question
So-
from a student as when you can see your schedule. There's an email will send out to you soon, so you will be able to see that when is your scheduled time to come in to see your counselor.
And there was a student who started talking. Can you?
Yeah, I had a question. So about pathways, how do I sign up for a pathway that I like to go into?
Good question. For all of you on this call right now and all of your friends that aren't on this call right now that are current 10th graders, that whole pathway thing is a separate process. So we're going to have a pathway fair and you're going to get all the information and do your survey for your pathway fair and your pathway choice separately. So when you meet with your counselor, they're going to leave a spot open in your requests for your pathway class. So that'll be a separate process that is going to happen soon, but not right at the same time. So for those of you who are 10th grade going into 11th grade next year, you will pick 5 classes with your counselor, and then we'll do the pathway process where you choose whether you're in Pulse, Law, GDA, Walk, or CAST. We'll do that separately. So don't worry about that right now. You'll have tons of time to think about it and ask those questions too. That'll be like a little bit of a separate process, okay?
And now you see the document that does have the schedule calendar of when you are to go in. And also it has the link of the virtual counseling office. And then right here, you are going to see when we are going to be seeing students. And so we are going to get started with the current 11th graders. And we already went over this section over here. And then you can just basically, as 11th graders, look for where it says 11th graders, and then look for the beginning of your last name. So let's say your last name is Casares, you would be looking over here. Or if your last name is Walker, like me, you would be looking over here. You know, just something like that. Look for your grade first, then look for your last name, then look to see when you are going to, like what time you are going to be seen. And it's a couple of pages long because we have a lot of students, but eventually we will get to you.
Shut up, Miss
I have a question.
Nicole. Miss Nicole.
Dean Walker, you
Miss-
know,
Miss-
don't do that.
Sorry. Where's Kenny? Where's the link to join the call with your counselor for Zoom?
It is in the email, and it is also in the email that you have just received maybe about 30 minutes ago. And then also it is in this email that, this document that is in the email. And it's right over here, the student/counselor scheduling meetings.
Thank you, my bad. I'm just blind.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions?
I have a question about language classes. Are you able to change a language class anytime you want? Like if you're taking Spanish 1, can you change it to like Filipino class?
So you need 2 years of the same language to graduate. So if you're taking Spanish 1, you need to take Spanish 2. If you want to change a language and still fulfill your graduation requirement, it will have to be a higher level of a language. So maybe you're taking Spanish 1 right now, and you decided that it's not working for you and you want to try a new language. Either you take Filipino 1 and then have to do Filipino 2 to graduate, or you can place in a higher level. So if you took Filipino 2 instead, that would be okay. That'll count as 2 years. Or Spanish native or AP Spanish. So any of those higher level classes count as full 2 years, but it has to be the same language if you do the 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Guan.
Yes. Yes, Joseph?
Okay. when you're choosing your classes, are we allowed to choose the order, or do we just tell you
No.
do we just tell you the classes we want to take and you choose the order?
We don't even choose the order. We do not know what period anything is right now. We just know what classes we have to offer. Based on all the scheduling that we're doing, that's when the school decides which teachers are going to teach what period and stuff like that. So we can't choose the order yet.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
You're
I have a
welcome. Yeah, Carla.
What if you're taking the AP class, but you don't want to take it no more
For this year or for next year?
for next year?
Yeah, you don't have to take any APs next year if you don't want to.
But what if it's a language?
If you are taking an AP language right now,
Yeah.
you're done. If you pass the AP class, you're done. There isn't another higher AP language class.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you have to pass it with a C or better in order to count. Okay, if you just take one AP Spanish, you never have any Spanish before. And let's say if anyone takes AP Spanish, not you, but anyone who earned a D, that doesn't count for more than 1 year. It has to be a C or better in order to count for more than 1 year.
And just remember, you're going to have these one-on-one meetings with your counselors so that we can go in detail over your specific case. So we just want you to have a general idea of what you would like. But as far as like the nitty gritty of it, like you'll have time and we'll talk about it with you and make sure that you're in the right classes.
And then we have another question. I just want to make sure we get it. I just see it in the chat. If you only plan to take one AP next year, do you still need a backup options? And so what's that answer?
No, if there's no other AP you want and you just want that one, you don't have to.
I actually have a different opinion about that. I would say you still will do it. The reason is it might be your only AP you wanted. It might be conflict with your pathway class or conflict with your language class. AP class is optional. But your pathway class, that's what make Balboa unique is pathway class is your first priority. Let's say if you are in walk, your only AP class you choose is conflict with your walk class. So you cannot have your only AP class you choose. You have to do walk first. Or if you are in a second year language and you need that language to graduate, let's say you're in Spanish 2 and your Spanish 2 is only in second period and your AP class is in second period, you have to take Spanish 2. You can't take that AP class because the Spanish 2 is going to help you to graduate, right? It's in the A to G. The AP class is in elective. So I would say you still take an elective if you want an AP class. But if you don't get this, let's say I only want this AP psychology. If I don't get it, I don't want any AP, then you don't have to get a backup. But if you say, I want to look good on my college application, I want to take at least one AP class. If I don't get AP psychology, I'm hoping to get AP physics or something, then yes, you need to do a backup. So it depends on what you want.
Can I ask a question again? How many, is there a limit to how many AP classes you can take?
Yes.
What's the limit? Oh.
Yeah. So we set it pretty much a hard deadline a hard number at 3. And a lot of it is because we want to make sure that you succeed in those AP classes too. There's no point in taking 4 or 5 APs and you end up struggling in all of them. If you want it to be challenged in addition to APs your senior year and also your junior year, you have other options. You can also take city college classes at the same time. And those give you a GPA boost, just like AP classes also, while at the same time also giving you college credit. So if you wanted to, have a really challenging senior year, please just check in with your counselor because we know for each of you is a different case and we don't want to say a blanket number. It depends on each individual student.
I have a question. So I'm taking a city college course right now, and I know that it affects, because I'm taking it for credit, I know that it affects my GPA. Where do I see that? It's not on Synergy. Where would I see that affecting my GPA? Is it on the final grade or like just the transcript or what?
You will need to submit your transcript from City College to your counselor so we can add it to your transcript.
Question. So it's not really related to the course selection. So could I still ask? It's related to college acceptance. What do we do about SAT this year and like the coming years?
I'll answer that question real quick. So a few people have been asking me about the SAT, ACTs. There isn't a whole lot of locations that are testing in California right now. Some people have gone out of state just to test. Every UC and CSU is not using SAT or ACTs. It's test blind this year and possibly next year. Most schools are not requiring SATs or ACTs either. They're literally going test blind. So I don't think they're even going to consider if you took it or not as a basis of your admission. That's how it is right now across the country.
So if I'm a 10th grader now, do I apply during 2022 or 2023?
2023. Your 10th grader, your class of 2023.
So we apply on the year of graduation?
You apply during that senior year in November. Let's say you are a senior right now.
So the year prior.
Wait, no, yes.
Okay.
Doing not a year prior, doing your senior year November time, because you start your senior year in August. You apply during the month of November. So doing your senior year, not a year prior. But a year prior, you cut to your college entries. So for your
like the calendar year before.
Yes, but for your year, the UC and the CSU is test blind, not test optional, meaning that they don't even look at it if you take it. Let's say this year's senior and this year's junior is test optional, meaning they will look at your score, the UC and the CSU, but for your year, it will be test blind, meaning even if you take it, they're not gonna look at it. But so they're talking about they will offer a different test for you, but we don't know that for sure. All right, so only if you are thinking to go to private colleges, that you might want to take the SAT, ACT later. But if you are thinking about going to public for your year, you don't even need to take it because it's test blind.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And I just want to say real quick, I know we still have like over 100 people still in this room. I know your classes are starting, so feel free to make your way to class soon. We'll definitely be able to help you as time goes on in preparation for this. But the turnout was tremendous. Thank you guys for asking such great questions. We're here for you guys and we'll be ready to roll come Monday.
Thank you, everyone. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Make sure you check the calendar for your time and date. That's the most important thing, is to know when to come to your meeting. Let us know if you have any questions.
I have a question about the AP course request. So I want to take APCS principles, but then that's not one of the options in the form. So when I have my meeting with my counselor, can I choose? Yeah, because it only says AP computer science, but it doesn't specify whether it's CSA or CSP.
I think AP Computer Science is principles, because then the other one is AP Computer Science A.
We'll update the form, so don't worry about it. But
okay.
Be updated by the time your meeting happens.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Yep.
Anybody can answer this, but how long is a CCSF class and how many credits does it count for?
It all depends on which city college class you decide to take.
So usually this is to answer your question. Usually it's by hour. If it's a 3-credit class, that means you have to required to attend class 3 hours a week. If it's a 4-credit class, that means you're required to attend 4 hours a week. It's by hours, not usually the case, besides PE and other elective. But in general speaking, it's about how many hours you attend is how many credits you're getting.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a nice day, y'all. Bye-bye.
You too. Thanks, Joseph.
You too. Bye.
Any other last minute questions as you guys make your way to class?
Have a good day. It's Friday. Time for, what period is it now? A day, B day? Third period.
Minute questions. We see about 5 more people left in here.
Danny, go to class. Benny, please go to class.
Bye, Michelle. Bye,
We're letting the
Sandra.
teachers know you were excused at 12:23.
Bye, Benny. Have a great day.
We got 4 more folks. Any questions, guys?
Michelle and Sandra, email me if you have questions. Don't miss class, okay? Please.
Bye. All right, and I'll see the rest of you at 1 o'clock for a final run through.
We still have Michelle and Sandra here.
We can just end the meeting. The email.
Yeah, we can end the meeting.
That they were dismissed at 12:23. Walked away.
Let me remind you guys how to do the classes for next year in our meeting at 1 o'clock. Just don't forget that, so you get a little refresher on like make sure you're logged into next year and all that good stuff.
Okay.
See you guys in like